Five times.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Flashpoint. I am your host this time. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Scorpion the Assassin, and the guest today is the man who created Flashpoint. He normally is in, the head chair and everything like that. This man right here. You gotta introduce yourself.
I know.
You make all of us introduce ourselves.
Yes, I do. I know. It's just, I didn't like your intro here, okay? My name is Austin O'Connor. I'm also known as Jim Connors, You didn't seem to have that, outgoing, super excited thing going down. You're just like, hey, guys, welcome to Flashpoint. You just seemed really
Okay, that may be true, but at least in this interview, I'll have actual questions.
Listen, my questions were I think my questions were bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, including what was it, 2-3 minutes where you were just spaced out. You had nothing to get.
No, that was more like 30 seconds. Get your time ready.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have questions. Are you ready for the answers?
All right. Yes, I am ready for these answers. You better throw them at me, man. Okay.
All right. All right. So first question is, how did you get into wrestling?
How did I get into wrestling?
Yeah. How did you get into wrestling, sir?
Well, that was actually from you. You looked at me and said, Owen Devine was doing his own company. I was looking for wrestling. I was like, wrestling? What do you do? So you showed me a few matches, and I was like, oh, really? I don't know. So then you had me do a few stuff down here. We set up the mattress down here in this basement, and did a little practice match, and that's where it went from there. And then when he said that he was on a trampoline, I was like, I like trampolines.
So, I knew that was the catcher, just trampoline.
So wrestling on a trampoline was fine, and I guess that's how I really got into it. It's you told me about it, and I just started getting into it from there.
So I know, and the fans, a bit know and everything, but for those who don't know, what wrestler was it, when you were because the way you are is that if there's something new you're getting into, you really dive deep and you do your research and everything. You try and learn as much as you possibly can, including the stuff that really interests you, kind of deal. So within the world of the wrestling, when you're, learning about it and getting into it, what wrestler kind of caught your eye and was just that guy's cool?
It was Jake the Snake first.
Jake the Snake. Okay, what was it about the Snake Man that was just what's up?
All right, so it was a few things. So
Okay.
He had the one thing that I picked out of it was that he had an animal coming down the stage. I know the bulldogs had an actual British bulldog.
Yeah,
all the time, but
Good old
I wasn't really a snake man.
Mm-hmm.
So when my mom was still with Dad, he had a bunch of snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I hated holding snakes. I hated the feel. I didn't like the
feel.
I didn't like it.
Right.
Seeing them, I was like, okay, but they had to be away from me. I didn't like the feel at all.
Okay.
So when there was an actual gimmick where the dude had a snake on him and that was his thing, where he would when he beats you, he would throw Damien on top of you. I was like, oh man, that's and it was just that. I sort of enjoyed that, and his moveset wasn't big.
Right.
It wasn't it wasn't a lot of technicality. There wasn't a big
It wasn't like a Bret Hart. Owen Hart. I mean, sorry.
It was simple in a way, I guess.
Right.
And I sort of like the simple aspects of wrestling more than the really crazy my brain explodes when I see certain tech from where it's where they're doing move upon move.
Right.
But I guess the other thing was just like the charismatic that he had too. Like that was the one thing like I know like Jake had. He had like he had the charisma to either like he had the thing about him. Like the way he talked, the way he like you saw him in like his videos, to where like he like when like he's looking straight into the camera, it's almost like he's looking straight at you. Exactly, almost kind of like how like a snake would, almost like intimidating like with the eyes.
Yes, definitely, he'd had that.
And like especially when he did the whole like trust me, thing for a while.
I remember that. I definitely remember that. Yeah, Jake the Snake was definitely one hell of a competitor. I don't think that he really got the recognition that he really deserved, but definitely without a doubt, he was definitely one of my favorites as well, including that freaking vicious DDT that he has, which basically you mastered over some time. Like you really mastered that DDT to the point to where, you get in the ring with somebody and, if they're not prepared or if they don't pay attention to the signal, it's going to hurt. Because when this man first started, he would literally... He would count, like, he would, 1, 2, 3, okay, down, Then he started, doing the whole slapping on the back thing. Now it's to the point where as soon as he locks you in, he's dropping. And if you're not ready...
I still slap anyway. Like, I was
like, drop my slap. You knew, but there's a few matches where I wrestled you, including in DBW with the whole Lego chair thing.
Yeah.
You definitely slapped that DDT in at a point, and it dropped. And it was quick. Like, I remember, okay, my head went down, and then the floor came up really, really fast. But it's something that was really, really cool. Like, you definitely really, really did master that DDT, which made it, one of your signatures there. Speaking of DBW, I want to bring up the fact of that it was our first show ever with the DBW. And it was our first invite. And what it was originally it was supposed to be me, you, and Reggie the Alpha. And then we replaced Reggie the Alpha with Will Powers. Now, that match was a very special match because there was an absolute total different outcome to that match.
Yeah.
And the big surprise was you winning, right? So I want to get your feeling on two things.
Okay, so two things.
First, you had me going in there, as a lot of them say, was, a Sting ripoff. Powers was going in there as a ripoff of Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And here comes the gamer, Jim Connors, dressing and being Little Mac from Punch-Out. And I want to get your feeling as to what it felt like for you being in another company, doing this wrestling thing that you really didn't have really too much knowledge about at all, basically becoming the fan favorite of that match. And I think coming close to being like one of the fan favorites of that show, above all, and your feelings of when you thought you fucked up and won that match.
Man, you're throwing a lot at me right
Bring
now.
it out. I want to know those feelings of that man in that crowd yelling, "We love you, Jim."
Mind you, this is like the same time that first ever time I'm in like a real ring. I'm like, I'm like almost like a kid in a shop. Like I'm like, I want to like take a bump so fucking bad because it's like
a real ring.
Mind you, to those who haven't took a bump in like a real ring, it may sound so devastating when we hit, but like it's kind of like a hard trampoline, and the sound you make when you bump, it's like it's addicting. It's a fucking drug. Okay, like you could drop once and then you could drop several more times, and it never like satisfies you, but it's just it's great. I don't know how else to explain it other than it's like drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. But like the thing is, it's not like it's not bad for you. Never mind. Anyway,
yeah.
So like
get back.
So like I was so excited to get into this ring. Okay, and when I was told that it was going to be like it was going to be three of us, I felt like it was going to be okay. Like I worked with you and Will before, and like at the time I think all three of us were faces and like none of us were heels. So we were like seeing who was yelling for who, pretty much.
Right.
And I don't know. It was weird, man. Like I walked through the curtain, being in like a whole new Fed. I was super like anxious, nervous. Um, I tried to look cool when I came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I look like a doofus now, but but like everyone was cheering for me. It felt kind of cool. Getting like everyone was yelling, and I was surprised people are actually like cheering for me instead of like one of you two.
Yeah,
because I honestly picture myself being more like a jobber type.
Yeah, like
just a side. Yeah, just like a side dude that's there for like filler. Or like you got to do some moves on him, boom, there he is. But it felt kind of cool, and when the win came up, I remember that like the whole finish was supposed to be different. I think it was like Powers was. I was told that Powers was supposed to be winning it.
Right.
I was supposed to like power bomb you off of the like I was in the corner. You're hitting me. You're on the second rope. I was supposed to like pretty much power bomb you from there.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you forgot.
Yes.
And you held on to the rope.
Yes, so when you guys watch that match, I am literally hanging on the top rope, and I'm like this far off away from the match. So this devastating powerbomb that we thought would look really so cool was like, boop.
Yeah, it was like just jump, boom. Like it was a trust dive almost.
That spot was so horrible because I remember we were talking about, I'm going to get you in the corner, I'll get on there, we're going to do the 10, but we're going to stop at a certain number, and then you're just going to powerbomb me. And I forgot what number it was. And when I start going, next thing I know, I see Jim starting to move. And at first I thought he was just adjusting, like he was really falling or something. So I just, went with it. And then when I felt him start to pull me down, I was just like, wait a minute, it's not time yet. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I was just like, well, I might as well just go with it now. Like, I'm already...
No, it was time. Like, I remember the number.
Well, I forgot the numbers. But the freaking 4 was right there. I was just like, well, there's no sense now. Just bang, there it is. Kind of.
Yeah. And, originally it was supposed to be like, I pinned you,
and then
Will pulled me off, did the cash out, and then
1,
got
2, 3.
you.
Yeah.
But no, instead, here he is, across the ring in the corner, staring at me, and I'm like, when's he running over? And I heard 3, and I was like, oh.
The look, so when you guys watch that match, the look on Jim's face is completely and utter genuine. Like, that is, he completely thought that he completely screwed up, and it really wasn't. It was just, hey, you know what? Will and I talked beforehand. We were just like, listen, we both have been, on this road somewhat before, and Jim hasn't. Let's give him a big surprise. And so then, we did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. There was a point in that match where Will and I were kind of off to the side. We were beating each other up, talking. And I think it was a little bit after, I think it was Navon McDonald was in the crowd.
Yeah,
he was the one that yelled out, "We love you, Jim."
Yeah, and I took that scene from Megamind, "I love you too, random guy." I yelled at him.
And then I'll never forget, me and Will were over in a corner, or we were doing something, and we told each other, we were just like, how the hell did this nobody get the fans behind him so bad when we are who we are? Like, how the hell did this just happen?
I don't remember if I had the pink sweater then too.
No, it was you had the green gloves, you had the black tank top going on and everything. I think you had green shorts.
Yeah.
You try to look as close to Big Mac as possible. Which if you fans would like to actually see the game or bring back Big Mac, comment down below. I think it'd be pretty cool to see the game and bring back, Little Mac again at some point maybe. All right. So that was your first experience with the DBW. So many great people we have met down there. Cyrus, Mr. Judgment, The Blaze, Casey James. Oh my God. The list goes on and on and on. Rick the Ref, RJ Carnage. We truly met some amazing people down there, and literally the list can go on and on. So from there, you really not, knowing too much about the wrestling and this and that, whatever. how did it feel the one day we were driving? I think we left NUW, and we were in a car, and we were either coming home from NUW or we were going down to WCF. And I asked you, I go, listen, how does it actually feel to be, taking all these road trips? Like, I know you didn't, and you still really don't see yourself being a professional wrestler kind of deal. But what I was going a little bit more towards was just the experience of what it is like being a wrestler on the road, traveling at the hotels. And then we actually counted how many different companies you have wrestled in.
Yeah.
And then how many championships you've held from those companies. Like, how did that feeling make you feel when all that information just went into that head and you finally had that realization?
So, I think it was actually when we were in DBW, because I remember, we were, it was one of, we've only booked hotels from DBW.
Yeah.
When we go down there. Or up at the time, I don't know. But, that's actually a hard one, man, because, it was interesting a little bit, because, it was cool that, we were, it was cool sometimes, staying somewhere else than the house,
Right.
A different view. It was not a thing I would do all the time, really. It's nice to do it every now and then to go out. I could wrestle out somewhere else, but if it was a full-time thing, I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Right. That was definitely the thing that we were talking about, including while we were driving to the one hotel was, the guys who, done this years ago, this sucks, get in the ring, you do, for a lot of you guys out there who really don't know and really don't understand, you go in, you do a 10, 15-minute match, and then, you get done, you head off to the back, you take a shower, you get changed real quick, you jump in the car. Now you're in your car for another 4 or 5, 8 hours or whatever, driving to the next spot. So your body is just getting tore up. It doesn't have that time to recuperate. And then by the time you get to your hotel, you only have a few hours to catch some sleep. Then, depending on what type of wrestler you are, you go to the gym, then you get ready to go to your event. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
But taking out the injuries, taking out the body aches, taking out the hours of driving kind of a deal, just the mere fact of actually to be able to sit down and go from this guy who was literally a couch potato playing video games to you're traveling, you're going to different areas, you're meeting different people. You have wrestled in different companies. You've held championships in different companies. I remember us talking about it, and we were just like, "Wow, this is pretty awesome."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Don't get me wrong, it was cool doing it. It was awesome doing it too. It's just I want to be able to do it an actual full-time thing.
So, how many companies have you officially wrestled for? And it can be full-time, it could be part-time, it could have been just one-time ordeal. Can you name off all the companies that you have partaken in?
All right, so there was EWF, Elite Wrestling Federation, UWF, Ultimate Wrestling Federation, DBW, Dominating Backyard Wrestling, NUW, Newburgh Underground Wrestling, Wilkes-Barre, it was WBW.
Yep.
WCF.
Yep.
Which I can't remember what theirs was. I think that was it.
Yeah, 6. So out of those 6, how many of them have you held a title in?
EWF, DBW, UWF, WBW, and NUW. So 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6, dude. 5 out of 6 companies that you've gone to, you held a title in some way, some form, whether it was a single or whether it was a tag.
Yeah, it was mostly tags.
So, dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pros out there that never held a title, and then like don't get me wrong. Like a lot of people look at us yarders as you guys are yarders. Like you guys have no idea what it's like. You guys blah blah blah. And everything. And it's true to a certain platform. It is different without a shadow of a doubt. But the amount of heart and passion that we have in it is just the same, if not stronger, than those on higher levels. And it's not just the wrestling field. I think that's in a lot of fields. As soon as you get to a certain point, the heart and the drive that you originally had in the beginning is gone. It just happens. Not to everybody, but being able to do what you've done thus far, gone to 6 different companies, held titles in 5 out of 6, being able to get out of the house, travel, meet new people and everything like that, was actually pretty cool, dude. I really got to say, it's a big difference to where you was before to where you are now. Big difference.
Yeah, no, definitely is. Well, I have to agree on that.
If you could pick one person that you could wrestle in 2021, who would it be? From like any Fed, if there's one guy you want to step in the ring with, 110%, and this year, who would it be?
Oh God, that's a lot. Like there's like 2 people that like I would like there's like 2 or 3 people that like I would love to wrestle, but like I don't feel like I'm actually like there.
Well,
yes.
Let's hear it.
Okay,
so who is it? I want to hear it.
So do you want to know all 3 or just like the most like one?
Give me all
that
3.
I want. Okay,
Give me all 3.
So the 3 that like I want to wrestle, but I feel like I'm not really there is so like Yankee's one of them. Okay?
Yankee team.
I feel like every match that I had with Yankee, I haven't been up there yet.
Okay.
Like I'm not.
You haven't. Is it that you feel as if like there's more that you could have done within the match with him?
Yeah.
Okay. I totally got you on that. Okay.
Then there's Devon. Okay, Devon McDonald. I want to get one with him. Okay, and Mr. Judgment.
Mr. Judgment.
Yeah, I gotta say, like Mr. Judgment, I think that'll be like number 1.
Mr.
But I'm like, but I don't know why. I'm like so like nervous about it though. Okay, like because I don't know, like I don't know, do like a 40-minute thing. Like
you're scared of the Judgment Slam, ain't you?
I'm wondering if you could pick me up. Like I could jump, but I don't know if you could get me. Anyway.
All right, so when it came down to you doing the whole wrestling thing, and with everything that we've done, and the moment that your injury hit, what went through your mind? Like
when the injury first hit.
Yeah, like it could be at the moment of impact. It could have been while you're at the hospital. Just overall, when you had that injury to your jaw, which I am going to let everybody know right here, right now, that whatever happens to storyline is storyline. But in reality and straight up real life, it was a botch. It was a complete accident. So Johnny, if you're watching, again, this guy will tell you for the 1 millionth time, there's no hatred.
Yeah.
Accidents fucking happen, dude. It's totally
cool. So I guess so I could give you like a rundown of how my mind was like each section, okay?
Oh, cool. All right.
So like if you really want to know, here's what's up. So like here in like right when I got in the ring,
boom, yep.
I tried talking and I was like, I can't remember how to talk.
Okay, yep.
Okay. And I was like, I can't remember how to talk. Oh, that's right. And I was like, I'm not getting up.
Okay.
I'm not getting up. So then,
at this point in time, we're gonna have subtitles down here, guys, so everybody knows exactly what you were saying. Okay.
So I was like, jaw can't move. There's blood. I'm not getting up. So, called it from there. Got pulled up. They got me into the car. On the way to the car, I'm like thinking to myself, man, how am I gonna work? Like, how am I actually gonna go to work and stuff? Like, because I gotta talk where I work. So so then that was what was going through my mind. Then I got to the place and I was like, man, my job, because when I got into the hospital, mm-hmm. it started getting harder to breathe at one point in time because everything was just building up between blood. my saliva, all that stuff. No, not to be disgusting, everyone, but like I was just getting a buildup in between, and like I it was getting harder and harder. So at that point, I was like, "Fuck, is my jaw actually like, is it broke? Is it like dislocated? Is it like, am I gonna get wired up and I'm gonna be like a mute? Like, what's going on?" So, and the thing is, like, the worst part was like the doctors weren't like like for some reason like that Saturday during the summer it was like crazy busy. So like the only reason they got me into a room that quick was when I was like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
So like, and like even then, like it took like hours before I actually got to see someone. And then like they put something in. They found out I was like dislocated, so I was like, oh okay. So like when they said it was dislocated, I was like, okay, so I should be fine. All right, nothing bad. That was when Johnny Perillo and Alan showed up to see what was going on. Mom messaged him.
Yep.
And then the nurse came in to ask about about what happened. And the thing is, we were all talking beforehand, or I was, and everyone else was talking, and we figured out I just fell down some steps. So we told the nurse that, and she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I sure steps." Walking into the room, still in gear, with the face paint, like sweating because it's summer, is you. You walk right in, and I'm like, okay, I might have been wrestling. Like, going like that. And then, like, the nurse was cool, because the nurse was like, oh, you're a wrestler? All right, this isn't the first time this, like, happened. Where are you, backyard? I was like, oh, yeah, we are. So, like, she was cool. And, dude, we figured, we wouldn't talk about it. So
the show was over and everything. I was legitimately
like, at least we could have cleaned the face off. Like, at least we could explain the outfit. Like, you came from like a costume party. Why
you could have done that with the face paint too?
Well, everyone else looked at you. So we so that went through. I was like, all right, so like I could work, and then I was just like, how am I, like, when's the next time I'm going to be able to, like, eat something? Like, actually, like, not drink it. Because I had, like, soup. Like,
actually have a good meal.
Like, actually have, like, a good meal. And the meal, I think, like, the first thing I ate was that I could actually, like, somewhat, like, move my mouth a little bit. First one I had was,
Dino Nuggets?
No, it wasn't Dino Nuggets. I think it was actually pulled pork, I think.
Pulled pork.
So it was something to where, like, I could, like, move a little bit and just take a part.
Right.
But I usually ate like broth. I had fucking yogurt. I had I hated it so much. Anything that was like anything that I could just like just eat and not chew, I did, and I hated it so much. I wonder how babies do it.
Oh man! All right, so let's see here. So we talked about your jaw.
Yep.
Talked about you getting into wrestling. Talked about DBW. And everything. We took, we did mention some of the other companies. NUW. What is your thoughts on the NUW? What I mean by that was, I know for me personally, when the invite was there to come to NUW and do a match kind of a deal. And I think vaguely that's what it was. I think vaguely it was just supposed to be just an invite to do a match.
Yeah.
And then kind of see how it went from there. And then it just turned into where we were being part of the storyline and everything. For me personally, to be invited to a show like DBW, and then, being invited to a show that's closer to home like the NUW was like starstruck. It was amazing. It was like, holy crap, like we actually are doing something, like not just the UWF name itself, but us as our characters are actually being looked at and want to be brought into other places. For me, it was very, very exciting. But how about you?
I thought it was so going to like NUW. At first, I didn't watch. I really didn't watch backyard stuff. So when you said, hey, we got another Fed, I was like, oh, that's cool. And when we got there, I was like, oh, hey, they got a real, that's cool. They got a real ring and stuff. So, like I thought it was cool going to another place and like it was closer.
Yeah.
Way better than like driving like 4 hours. Like, so like I was excited. We got like another place to where like, we could take a break from being a boss and like wrestle.
Yeah,
there,
right, right.
So
that's always fun.
So like, I was always excited for that, being like, just another, crew member instead of, boss, like leader.
And now here in the UWF, we have a lot of those guys here from both companies, DVW and the MUW.
Yeah.
I personally feel that, the connection with the companies is going pretty well. Obviously, just like with anything, there's always room for improvement. There's always, ideas kicking around of how we can go bigger and bigger and bigger and stuff like that. Is there anything in particular? Now, I know for a fact that there is, and the company owners know that there is, but the fans really don't know what's cooking in this guy's head. So we're going to reveal that now. Is there anything that has been brewing in that brain of yours that you want to do, seeing how we have these partnerships with these companies, we have all these guys that we can work with? Is there a particular type of show or match you want to go down?
Man, it seems like you're really trying to point it out, the certain thing that I've been saying for like 5 years.
5 years you've been saying this. 5 years you've been saying this thing.
I've been saying this thing for about 5 years behind camera, trying to convince people to do this. Because it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of trucks.
So what is it?
Here's what it is, okay? We make a Lego ring.
A Lego, wait, what?
Yes, a Lego ring. So like the floorboards is made out of Legos. The ropes is like the weird plastic thing that like, that's like tubes for Legos that you can do. And what I mean by trucks, we're going to need a shit ton of Legos in order to make this ring. Okay. No, that's not the actual thing. The actual thing that I was actually really talking about is war games.
Yes.
Okay. The old war games where it's like 2 rings put together and a steel cage on top, and there's like 2 fractions or teams going at it in there, okay? So I always wanted to do something because, like, found out, Judgment's got a ring, and then Devon's got a ring, and then we have a real ring. But the only downside is that we don't have an actual big enough cage to put them both in.
Yes.
And we're all different sizes.
Exactly. Ours is the 18 by 18. Brian's is the 16 by 16. But Devon's is the 12 by 12.
Here's the thing. That just equals to more of a possibility of crazy stuff we can do.
Now see, this is the creativity this man has.
Because here's the thing. We can have like the big ring, okay, right here, okay?
Yeah.
And then on one side could be Brian's ring, and then over here is going to be Devon's.
Okay.
Because then, think about it, okay? People could like go onto the top rope here. They can do their swantons, dives, and all stuff into Devon's ring. And here's why. Our ring's higher. Judgment's is a little lower, and then, Devon's is lower.
Right.
So then it's more, it's we're up higher, lower, but there's still like, another ring that they go like, boop, boop, slam onto them, okay?
So you're
Or you could be like, if you got someone up for like a power bomb, you could like go over to the rope, drop them off the rope, and like into another ring. Almost like you're throwing them into like a bigger table, but like, I don't know. It just, it seems like an awesome idea in my head.
So the whole creativity is really pumping. It's really flowing and everything.
Yeah, like, I think doing like a War Games idea would be like, killer. But that's a lot of work to bring both rings here. A lot of people work on this project. And like, the cage, man. We need a cage. Like, not even like a regular like dog cage. We need like, like a dome cage, like freaking.
That's a lot, bro.
I know.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Like Mad Max. No, I think it's like Mad Max. Like, Thunderdome or something.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh my gosh, it's going in a really bad direction really fast. Again, guys, I believe it was during the episode with Powers Investment. A lot of guys out there are going to see this video. They're going to, oh man, we can do that. We'll do that. We'll do it before them and this and that, whatever. The one thing that we've proven plenty of times here in the UWF, which is something that we take a lot of good pride in, is that, yes, we're an outdoor fed, but regardless of the weather, we always seem to figure out somehow, some way to make it work.
Yeah.
we always had up and downs. We have guys come and go. We had to figure out things right on the fly and everything like that. Somehow, somewhere, we always get the job done.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember there's two things that like, on the fly we had to fix because like it failed. Failed literally the day before or the day of the show.
Yeah.
So like the two incidents I remember is
Let's
in
not
the
go
old
this route.
No, we're gonna talk about
this route. So that was the show, guys. Let's have a good one. Hope you all had a fantastic time.
So like the first time we were like, oh shit, we need a fucking fix. It was in the old ring.
Yes.
The makeshift one, and we were trying out the ropes. Okay? Yes. Because we were trying to see how tight we could get them and see what how much of our body we could hit with it without anything bad. So Tom threw me in, and I was like, all right, so they feel pretty good, man. So he's like, all right, run them. So I was like, okay, do my little jog. I hit. It's like, all right, harder. All right, I go on over. I hit. He's like, all right, let's do it one more time. So I run towards him. I hit, and right when I hit the rope, the one wooden beam snapped in half, went flying into the ring, almost fucking hitting me.
That thing snapped like a twig, everybody. Like, at that moment, I was in complete awe. I was just like...
I felt very self-conscious of my weight.
He did. We were like, we are so screwed. Like, tomorrow is our live event. We are screwed.
And I actually think that was Summer Bash.
I really think it was. And I remember, like, we came in, we were just like, we're dead in the water. And then Mom was like, we got to go on up and go get a board. And we were just like, this is not going to work. Mm-hmm. So, but we did. We wanted to go on up, getting a board, getting it cut, getting it set up, ready to go. And, we made the show work.
Yeah. The second time I remember, it was the second year we had guys from WBW come in.
Yes.
And it was supposed to rain. Torrential downpour. It was raining all day. There was no chance we could reschedule at all.
Yeah.
So
everything was so short notice.
So so the day before, we made a PVC crafted roof. Okay. And we had the steel cage as well. The steel cage that we had it could fit the ring. We tied it down. We had it looked like a small makeshift hut. It was cool. The day after, after we got it all set up, the entire, most of the supports that were in it with the PVC, came undone, snapped, came down, and we were like,
we are screwed.
We got 2 hours before everyone shows up.
Yeah, it was it was definitely crunch time here. So, regardless of whatever situations that kind of ran in our way, we definitely proved over and over again that we are the Ultimate Wrestling Federation for a reason. Mm-hmm. So, guys want to take our ideas and try to make them better, do it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guys want to try and do it before us, that's fine. And just know that whatever we have planned, we're going to do. And then if we mess it up, rest assured we're going to redo it and we're going to go even better and better before. But as you brought up with me before, characters. You're, as we could tell, a very creative guy. Your knowledge is very there. You can do your D&D stuff and everything.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to characters, let's go over how many characters you actually do here, okay? You got Jim the Gamer Connors.
Yes.
Okay. You have Buddy.
Yes.
Who we're going to talk about here in a second. Okay. Then there was Norman.
Yes.
Which he had an incident with that there too. Then you would portray Death.
Yep.
And Erebus at times.
Yeah.
That's 5.
And then
there's Archie the Pirate. Yep. And now let's not forget Sega Punk.
Oh yeah,
7 characters, buddy.
Oh my god,
7 characters. Now, let's go down the list here.
Okay.
Jim the Gamer Connors is basically you.
I might have to do a separate video on this, but go ahead.
No, we're going to get it in here. All right, so Jim the Gamer Connors is you. That's who you are.
Yeah, Jim the Gamer Connors.
Okay. Buddy was more along the lines of a tribute to...
Hillbilly Jim.
Jim. Okay. Sega Punk. Where did Sega Punk come from? What was his thing?
All right, so Sega Punk. So this was during the time where Pokemon Sun and Moon came out. Okay, mm-hmm. And those of you who are familiar with that game specifically, there was the bad guy group known as Team Skull. They were like wannabe gangsters basically, and like I love them. Okay, so I sort of tried to take that sort of like wannabe personality and made it into the Punk. Okay, like I took a lot of that into a lot of that inspiration to make him.
Yes.
And it sort of was like a test to me to see how fast I can talk, because at times when I talk I stutter. I can't talk fast at all. I am not good at it. Now, like with Pong, I kept pushing myself, and whenever I mess up, I would cover that mess up real quick with a different mess up.
Yeah.
So then I'd mess it up on you and called you a loser.
Yeah.
And then I was cool, and I had my sunglasses, and that was it. Like.
So now let's get into, you had the German Prince Norman.
All right, so Norman. Norman's inspiration came from, originally I had the idea from Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay? Now here's why. Okay, so those of you who are familiar with like Arc 5, they had like the different dimension like demons or different dimension dynasties, or like, basically it was a deck type based off of
All right, keep it short. Keep it short.
Well, I am.
I gotta keep him on track.
I am. It explains why. You gotta let me. All right. They were based off lords, kaisers, kings, generals, all that. Like all of them from history, like real life history, like Genghis Khan and all that. Okay. So when I saw them and then heard their theme, which was like really like imperialistic, I was like, yo, Norman. Okay. And I was like, I need, like, I want him to be like something like royal, like king-like. Okay, so like I tried looking for the most German-like name ever. Okay, and so I did that. Norman Yeager. Yeager is a common name in wrestling and everywhere else. Like search up Yeager, there's like 50,000 different like fictional and non-fictional characters. Yes. Okay, and like it's a beer for the love, I think. Like it's alcohol. So like. Norman I took from a Pokemon game. So, like, I take all sorts of stuff from everyone, I mash them together. But Norman was really my pent-up rage and aggression that I couldn't get out as anyone else.
So let's make this very, very clear. When it comes down to Buddy is somebody here that we hold very, very dear to our heart. He was literally supposed to be just here and gone kind of a deal, but he's made several impacts in different companies. He is definitely our go-to guy if we need to make something happen. So Buddy will definitely be our special one kind of deal. The German Prince Norman, as he mentioned, he's the one that he can really just unleash his frustration and all this and that, whatever, including he was flipping off his own mother, cursing at her and everything else, which then right afterwards he completely apologized because he didn't want to get his butt whipped by his mother.
He was my first heel that I tried being as.
And it definitely worked.
Like when I tried getting his own voice coming out and stuff, I tried to sound like a really bad German accent. Like, and I mean really bad. But I tried bringing in like stereotype stuff of calling him like a savage because he's a native. Other people as like Americans, I'd be like you fat lazy Americans as him. Like I use him as like stereotypes and and then like after that I would apologize profusely because I was like sometimes that's a touchy subject.
Yeah. So you did really, really good with it though. You actually did really, really good with it. Then we have Archie the Pirate.
So here's the thing. So Archie is a OC, like my own creation character. Okay, the pirate wrestler of the Seven Seas. And he is actually my first Dungeons and Dragons character I've made. So I originally played him as like a monk pirate who would go around, punch stuff, and like he would wrestle things, okay? Mm-hmm. And I would make up these like, wild things, like, like he put the Kraken in the camel clutch, he, suplex, Moby Dick, all that. Because that was
in his
own ocean. That was his whole thing. And in this one Dungeons and Dragons world, but the guy never let me play him, so I was really sad. Instead, he made me play something boring. So when we were talking about we need more people, and I was like, yo, I don't mind bringing in something else. And he's like, well, what you got? And I was like, I'm Art, and I started talking like Archie.
And then that's the way it happened.
And I fucking took him, and he was like, we're making him a thing.
yeah. The way that he did it was downright perfect. It was, and now Archie's with Bone Daddy, tag team champions and everything. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable.
Like honestly, like Archie and Jim are like my favorites to like play out of everything.
Yeah, definitely hands down, hands down. So there is a moment in time in the life of Jim the Gamer Connors that trying to think about, when we should actually bring it up and everything. We were going to save it for another episode, but since I have you here on the spot, I think we're going to go with it. A tribute. The Gamers Tribute to Mr. Ravishing Rick Rude. Anybody who knows Mr. Ravishing Rick Rude, he always had this little signature intro that he would do and everything like that. So,
all right, so let me explain that one. Okay, so back in EWF, I recently turned heel as Guardian at the time, but so I was trying to think of ways to be a dick. I was trying to think of ways to be mean, bad, all of that, okay? And the thing is that, the idea that I was thinking of going through, but then I got really unsure about was, what if I did something like Ravishing Rick Rude, and showed myself off? Me personally, I feel like I'm not a pretty good-looking one, okay? But being I think it would have been hysterical / an interesting idea of, trying to be like a hot guy, but not having the body for it. So I looked at you the one day and I was like, yo man, I'm thinking about doing Rick Rude's thing as an entrance thing just to try it out, try and be try and make this a thing, because you can look at guys who are Twigs and stuff and be like, yeah, what, they're gonna keep you warm now. You want a real man, and I do this. I got enough heat to produce to keep you warm.
He did the whole thing. He definitely did the whole thing. Go back to the videos; it's there and everything. But came out with the sunglasses, the leather jacket, took it all off, did a little twirl. Hello YouTube, hello ladies, kind of deal. It was definitely a very, monumental moment there in the life of Jim the Gamer Connors, I would say.
Ask me to do that about 10 years ago, I would say no. I would either say no or I would avoid you until you forgot.
Oh.
And now I look at it and I'm like, why did I do that?
Because it made great entertainment. That's what it was. Great entertainment. Well, Jay, we're coming up here on close to an hour here. We've been going back and forth there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely awesome. It was definitely fun. The fans got to see a different side of you. 2021 is here. We got a new year gearing up. Due to your real life injury, your in ring status has changed. You are still wrestling, so the fans will still get to see you, but you're taking on more of the management role here to help out a lot more. So, is there anything you want to let the fans know before we say goodbye here, or what?
I guess I hope you guys enjoy the year. We got a few things planned up that I've been trying to help create. I might not be around a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna say that my performances will not be top gear. Okay, they will be top notch, good stuff. Okay.
Any chance of Norman coming back?
Probably not. If he comes back, it's going to be a joke of him, taking everyone's mask. Every mask character, he's going to wear their mask with his mask on it. Because he's technically fired, he's going to wear someone else's mask, take it off, and then it's his, and he would run away. Because technically he's not part of the company, but he still wants in.
I got you.
That'd be the only time he would come back. I hate his mask that he wears.
All right, everybody, that was Flashpoint with Jim the Gamer Connors. Thank you very, very much, Jim. It was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, just like I said before, it's an extremely huge growth from where I first met you to where you are now. Big change. Really, really proud of everything that you have done, all your creativity, everything that you bring to the table, and I know the fans really do appreciate it as well. So with that. Thank you very much for doing this with me, and get ready for that Hot Wings challenge coming up.
I don't know that much.
See you later, everybody. Have a good one.
Take care.